Hey guys, what's up? It's Jazzy Josh here with another episode of Tattooed Attitude. So in this episode, I'm not joined by a wrestler. I told you that it wouldn't all be wrestlers on this show. But instead, I have with me Toby Walker representing the Blackened Heart merchandise store. As you can see, I'm already repping. I picked Blackened Heart because...
So beautifully wearing for us there, mate.
In the last two episodes, I was actually wearing the Danny Black t-shirt and the Billy Hayes t-shirt in each of their episodes as well. So we'll have to see how long I can keep that up before I run into a guest that I haven't met, haven't spoken to before. So, yeah. So, like I said, joined by Toby Walker before I go off on another rant, another tangent.
Hello,
tell
thanks
us,
for having me as well, man.
Yeah, thanks for being here. What exactly is it you do with Blackened Heart?
So Blackened Heart came about a few years ago. My friend Glenn Webster, who originally started it, bought a printing press, got really tired and bored of going to like normal shops, say Primark, River Island, Blue Banana when that was about, trying to find clothes that he liked in sort of the alternative style.
Yeah.
And sort of wrestling related, the style and the gimmicks that came out for the more darker characters he really liked the interest of. So he thought, okay, if I can go online and, look for demon ideas and sort of gothic styling, maybe I can do it myself. So in the beginning, it started as Deep Six clothing, a bit of an homage to Baron Corbin's finishing move. And then during lockdown, we went full swing with it. He got on Photoshop, learned how to sort of manipulate and edit photos. I did it through college for 2 years. I did a fine art and 3D and graphic design when I was at college. So he asked me what sort of tricks and tips I knew myself that could sort of help him develop better imagery.
Right.
And then we just sort of went from there. And he sort of overtook me within a couple of weeks, and then a month I was sort of taking a bit of a back step while he just fired out design after design after design. And then luckily enough, we were able to find a company called T-Mill that do any sort of clothing design, whether it's the one you're wearing now, the baseball tee, plain t-shirt, sort of hoodies, and you can just put your image on there, front and back, at a set price, and it gets shipped off and delivered to the customer via a third party.
So you don't have to do anything.
Literally, all we do is we'll sit there and go, how are we going to design this today? And we'll sit in front of the laptop for an hour or two, and we'll sort of be against the opposite ends of the room going, do you like this? That's pretty cool. Typing away. What about this idea? Yeah, let's put this with that with that. Let's put it on the website. It gets put onto like the image that you've got there as a little thumbnail, and then that's it. Easy as that.
It's one way of doing it, isn't it?
There you go.
I mean, that is always the easiest way, is if you don't have to do anything yourself, don't. Work smarter, not harder. And that's why Lucas Jackson hired me to work for DKW.
I mean, his ideal end game. His end game, ideally, is to be able to cut that middle one out and be able to sort of progress it over time to be able to have it printed himself with a printing press and to be able to, it's sort of like all companies, they take a cut from when it goes from you to them and then from them to the person that it's been dispatched and delivered to. Right. So to cut out that little bit of cost and put it towards himself, that's the end game.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like build it up kind of thing, so you don't have to rely on other people. Well, you still have to rely on other people, but you don't have to rely on massive companies to mess up orders or not ship them to the right place, which I know a lot of people have had issues with in the past.
Where are we going?
So we had to pause the recording because technical difficulties, and by technical difficulties, I mean internet providers these days absolutely suck balls. Enough said. However, I was just saying how Toby is the most inked up guest I've had on the show so far. It's only episode 3, so if anyone can top him, I've been told I may be able to get a few freebies. So I'm doubtful I'll find anyone.
If anyone
with
wants
that.
to step up, I will.
I mean, I doubt anyone's going to step up to that plate because you are covered from head to toe. So, while we're on that point, actually, do you want to tell us?
Two people, but they're.
Oh, it did a freeze. So unnecessary saying that. Right, anyway, back to it. So, while we're on the topic of the fact that you're tattooed from head to toe, you might as well tell us about a few of them. Not all of them, because we'll be here all day.
I mean, I'm an open book, mate. Not all of them, but whatever you want to ask, the first one, the most embarrassing one, the most painful one, you ask away, mate. I'm all ears and I can give you as much information as you need.
So let's start with your first tattoo, if you can remember which one.
Oh, I can, and it still haunts me to this day.
Oh, there's a story coming.
So being 15, 16, and being a huge and still a big fan of Fall Out Boy to this very day.
Can't be a big
I
Fall Out Boy.
had the long quiffy emo scene hair, had skater jeans, the Airwalk trainers, and people started to think I looked like Pete Wentz a little bit.
Right.
So I was like, oh, wow, cool, yeah, I'll go with that. And he has, in a few of the videos, the very sort of memorable little bat on the bottom of his stomach. And it has a skull in it with a half heart. And I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm going to get that done. So I was 16 and my friend's dad, as long as it was with parental consent, would tattoo you. And if you take the weather we've had today, the horrible, muggy, hot, blazing sun, in a very cramped box room with a 50-plus-year-old man leaning over your lower area with nothing but a £10 room fan from Tesco just breathing down on your lower parts, that's pretty much the first introduction I had to tattooing.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like the best
Nice
introduction.
£30 bedroom tattoo.
To be fair, my first tattoo was 25 quid. I think I've shown this one before. But I'm going to show it again. It was this black band on my forearm. And it's not the straightest tattoo, if I'm honest. However, I have seen much, much worse for a first tattoo, for a cheap tattoo. And if I'm honest,
worse.
Yeah, if I'm honest,
money.
like a £25 tattoo, I couldn't really ask for a good one, could I? To be fair, and do you know what? That took just shy of an hour.
I remember there being a slogan in I remember there being a slogan in a tattoo studio I went to when I was 18. It said, cheap tattoos ain't good and good tattoos ain't cheap. And it's pretty accurate to this day.
Yeah, like a lot of my tattoos, I'd say, weren't cheap, but I'd say they were affordable. Like they were value for money.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean, I pay somewhere now because my friend's been a tattooist for years now. I think my day rates are maybe 250, 300, and that's about 8 hours work.
That's not bad, to be fair.
And I find that affordable than most places. It's pretty good.
Yeah, like I think this full forearm piece must have cost about, in total, because I did it in 4 sessions because I didn't know what I wanted, must have cost like nigh on £400 to £500, just because of how long it took to get done.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, it was about £55 an hour, I think.
Yeah, 50, 55. Some places charge a bit higher, but that sounds like the normal rate for it.
Yeah, my tattoo artist at the time, she did £45 for anything under an hour, or £55 per hour. Like,
Yeah.
no, to be fair, she didn't take the mick. Like, if it took 10 minutes, she's not going to charge you 45 quid. She's going to charge you how much it actually costs.
Yeah.
But she was good. Unfortunately, she moved up north, which meant I had to find a new tattoo artist who now charges £50 an hour. So I'm saving £5 an hour. But that does mean that my forearm piece isn't going to get fully finished for a while. Because the plan is it's going to go all down the hand. But yeah, that won't be happening for a while.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to get... The plan is...
All future job prospects.
Essentially, yeah. The plan is lotus flower back of the hand, vines connecting to that and going down my fingers. We'll have to see how well that works.
Nice. I will say, fingers are not nice.
No. Like, I know they're not. I was going to get these knuckles done recently, but then I thought to myself, hang on a minute, I've got a puppy at home that likes to bite. Probably shouldn't do that yet.
Yeah.
So, I've noticed that a lot of your tattoos are black and grey. I'm curious, is that your favourite style of tattoos? Or do you just happen to have a lot of black and grey?
I've noticed. So, going back from college, I did my 2 years final pieces on Banksy. So whether the audio and visual is working in a minute, you will see this across my arm here. And I have a few others, like the rat, the girl with the balloon, and a few other ones up here. And when it came to having a few with colour, my body just did not like it at all.
Right.
I noticed it was more, and I have been told by a few artists that it was whatever goes into certain colouring, more specifically red. I have red roses here, or I did, but they're now being blacked out.
Right.
I have the red sort of symbol there that's gone like a nice pink colour now. Just something about it almost looks like a full-on burn when it's healing. My skin just sort of inflates and it goes horrible. And rather than flake, it tends to almost scab.
Right.
So I'm sort of trying to take the route now. I've gone to more black and grey and I've had no issues with it since.
No. I mean, to be fair, colour tattoos do have different, not chemicals, but they do have some different things in them to add that colour to them. So it's just different pigmentations, really. It's nothing too drastic. And being allergic to
that's
it,
what it's come down to.
Yeah, being allergic to those pigmentations is very, very rare. So unfortunately, you drew the straw on that one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like I said, I think there is even a few years ago, having like a friend just try a few on my leg.
Yeah.
Even like greens and blues, they just sort of washed out straight away.
Wow, that's
strange. My skin. Anything black and grey though, it's held for as long as I've got it now.
Yeah. To be fair, the only two colours on me that don't stick are yellow and white. But yellow and white don't really stick on anyone anyway, so it's no surprise.
No. And white tends to sort of turn into a bit of a murky yellow over the years anyway.
Yeah, like everywhere that I had white and yellow has now kind of just faded to skin tone, which isn't the end of the world because some of the ones that faded to skin tone do need a bit of a touch up anyway, just from the healing process. But again, that'll be a very long time before that happens because I'm too busy getting new ones to get the old ones fixed. Moving on to the next one. So
the exact same process I go.
Yeah. It's like, I'll go, yeah, I need to get this touched up. No, I want a new one. But anyway, moving on from kind of something that is considered a myth anyway, we're going to move on to the segment that I like to call Myth or Fact. Now, this is the part of the show where I will give you a myth or a fact, and you have to determine which one it is.
Yep.
So, This is quite a simple one. I think everyone knows this, but actually, that's a lie. I don't think anyone knows this except for obviously me, because I researched this and made sure I knew the answer before telling you this. So here it is. Myth or fact, you can't get an MRI if you have tattoos. Is that a myth or is it a fact?
I would say that's a myth.
Yeah, it's a myth. You can get an MRI. So in the past, kind of some ink pigments, so coloured inks, contained certain levels of metal, but these metals would cause an unwanted reaction during an MRI, but not to the point where it's like you can't have an MRI. It's just going to be a bit tingly.
Yeah.
But nowadays, you don't really have to worry about that happening because 90%.
I wouldn't even know that was a myth or fact anyway.
No, like I said, not a lot of people know that. But you don't really have to worry about that anymore because ink pigments today have improved so much. And 99% of them don't have any metal in them anymore. But obviously, if you're unlucky and you go to a bad tattoo artist, likelihood is they're going to have cheap inks. So don't get your hopes up. So now we've gone from one bad topic. Let's go on to another. Have you got any tattoos that you not necessarily regret, but think I could have made a better decision there? I'm going to take that laugh as he maybe a yes.
A lot of people say, do you regret having some done? Some of them, style-wise, I'd probably like them to have been maybe a bit nicely better done and probably more professionally done. But I mean, my eldest daughter, when I have on the back of my head shaved, she likes colouring them in because they're just line work at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So that's something fun for her to do. The only regret I said, it's not even a regret of my own, it was somebody else that did it and I wasn't conscious at the time. Waking up with one and having to get it fixed. So
I'm sure there's some legal issues there.
we can segue into that. I don't know what legality I've got from being passed out in a front room and waking up with a tattoo. I don't know how well it hold up.
Surely I'm pretty sure that probably comes under grievous bodily harm or something. Because they did essentially stab you.
I don't have the proof anymore because
you covered it up.
Credit to them, they must have done a good enough job for me. Yeah, I mean, it took me 4 years to cover it up and not have my legs out in the sun. So I looked like two people stuck together. I didn't wear shorts for 4 years. I just wore jeans, summer, winter, all the time.
Oh, I made the mistake of wearing jeans today. Oh my God, was that a stupid decision?
But no, I did it yesterday, and today I've just got this horrible tan line from ankle to about there, up my leg.
Honestly,
I mean, even now, with this, it's just black, and I have the horrible, stupid dad vest line now over my shoulder and down my back.
We're British, we can complain about the weather regardless.
Well, it's created a lovely line.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. It's lovely, but it's too hot.
Brilliant weather. By the time you get to the end of the day, oh my God, this was
great. In regards to with regrets and things, I don't think I'd probably like them to look a bit nicer, but I've never really been, it sounds bad, I've never really been one to sort of put too much thought and meaning unless it's a certain one. And if I like something for how it looks or how it's going to look on body, then I'll go for it. As long as it fits, as long as it's going to go whatever else I've got going on, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, that's one thing that bugs me, to be fair, about tattoos is not all of them need to have a meaning. You can just have a tattoo because it looks nice. That is a thing. Yeah. It's called aesthetic appeal. That exists. That one question I hate getting when I get a tattoo is oh, what's the meaning behind it? I'm the meaning was I saw a picture, I liked the picture.
So why did you get that done?
Yeah. Why did I get it done? Because it looked good. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, none of my tattoos.
The other one that usually follows as well is, "Ooh, did it hurt? No. A needle going 1,000 times a minute into my skin. It's fine. I live
I'll
for
tell
that."
you what, though, some of my tattoos didn't actually hurt that much. The one on the back of my neck,
So
I thought the one on the back of my neck would suck, but it was fine.
yeah,
That's a weird spot.
you can't see it because of my beard, but I have one right on my throat there, and
Yeah.
I have side of my neck and obviously the back of my head all around the side, and then at the back as well. And I have to agree with you. Anything around the head, limited pain.
Unless it's on the head, I think that's where the pain is.
I've had a lot worse pains from a lot of different places. Ooh.
Yeah, I think the worst pain that I've had so far was either the inside of the elbow, and even that was only a line.
The crease.
Yeah, the crease of the elbow. That was only a little spear, like a tiny little, like literally that tiny little line there was excruciating compared to the rest of it. And then I've got one on my stomach.
See, I've had people say that. I've had people say like the inside of the bicep hurts, which was fine with me. Like
I've not had
the
that.
worst places for me are the ribs and the inside of my belly button are the two worst places I've had so far.
Yeah, I can imagine the inside of the belly button being quite sensitive. But the worst one I've had, the worst full tattoo I've had, pain-wise, is the one on my stomach because it's like towards the side of my stomach, and I could feel that.
Yeah,
in my hip.
It's slowly creeping to the ribs.
Yeah, like I could feel that in my hip. It was such a. She's like that far away from my hip, and somehow I could feel it in my hip. Like, what sense does that
But
make?
it feels like it's completely on the side there.
Yeah. It's like there's no pain anywhere where the actual tattoo is.
You get anything. You get anything here, anything from collarbone to center of your chest, it's your nipples straight away. It's horrible.
I've got a tiny little one on my chest, but I'm never showing that because that's getting covered up one day. I don't regret it. It's just bad. Like, it's just poorly done.
Yeah.
The worst thing is, like, it's the same tattoo artist that I was going to for years before that. So how I got one from her that was bad, but all the rest being like outstanding, I don't know. But that was around the area that I could feel that. To be fair, it's only a tiny little one, so I don't really care that much because it's an easy cover up.
Yeah.
So moving on from regrets, are there any tattoos you have that other people may consider either controversial or a little bit iffy? Kind of like, why would you get that?
Probably my face ones, and I've had those done over the last, in between the lockdowns when things were eased and things were back fully closed again. I'd say probably the last year or so. They, again, not like FU across my forehead or anything, but they're the ones that you see straight away now. If I've got a hoodie on or if I'm fully clothed, I have one at the side here, one here, and then one on each side just under my eyes. Yeah. And they're nothing big, but I think my partner liked the first one I got, and then that's enough. No more now. And then because my tattoo is more heavily covered than I am, and the majority of his face is covered, I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, we'll just do one more. And it's like the line now to still be able to pull it off in an aesthetically pleasing way, or looking like I'm about to do a 15 to 20 year stretch in prison. It's getting quite fine now. Oh. No, to be fair, I won't. I mean, like my grandma still gives me a hug and kiss. I mean, that's fair enough. So it's less of the tattoos you've got and more of where they're placed, kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's it. Like the stigma nowadays is if you've got, something that's big and bold and visible right away, people are going to think, holy shit, like the fuck possessed him to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, if people say I don't want to get it past my neck, I don't want to get it past my wrists. My old tattooist wouldn't do my throat, wouldn't do my neck, and wouldn't do my hand until I had certain other things done, and I was already a certain percentage gone.
Yeah, that's fair
because
enough.
job prospects at the end of the day, you can't go to, you know, a lawyer firm or, you know, certain public services nowadays and go, oh, I'd look to apply for a job, because they'll look at you and go, no chance.
Yeah. That's where you get the job, then you get the tattoo. Because once you've got the tattoo and you're already in the job, they can't sack you because that's illegal. Well, there's a fine line here. Legally, you can't be denied a job because of your tattoos. However, there are ways to get around it by going, well, you're just not qualified enough. Even though really they're saying, you've got tattoos on your face and on your hands. No. And that's one thing I hate. It's like, just because you have tattoos on display does not mean you're an arse. It just means you have tattoos. Like,
I mean, I brought this point up to a friend at work the other day.
Yeah.
I've got my level 3 first aid, and I said, okay, if someone needed a immediate assistance and there was a life-threatening issue, would they be annoyed or would they refuse help from me because of how I looked?
Yeah.
In the same sense as somebody who had no tattoos. And it might be a bit much to say that, but it's not far off being a fine line between yes or no.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Like, tattoos come with a lot of controversy, regardless of what the tattoo actually is. Like, there's a lot of people, and in the next episode after this one, you're going to find out just what the general public thinks about tattoos, because I will be going out and about in the near town centre asking people what they think about people with tattoos, or if they've got tattoos themselves. So that'll be something interesting. So the last thing I want to talk about, because we're pressed for time, are there any tattoos you will never get? Other than the regular, like, Nazi flag and stuff like
that. Yeah, rather than the Silver Cross and the big one from American history, the swastika there. I won't get anything. I've not got anything mum or dad related. I don't have anything that's these colours don't run in relation to sort of British politics or the British flag and things like that.
Yeah.
I think if the style's there, I'll probably try and twist it and make it my own a little bit. But if it's going too far, like you say, if it's going to offend somebody in either a religious manner or if it's going to be a racial thing, then you've got common sense to not do that anyway. I mean, I've got my partner's name, I've got my kids' names, I've got those sort of things. Oh, you shouldn't get her name because that's a sign that you're going to break up. I mean, we're still going strong with kids, with a house, with everything else. Fingers crossed, we're still going to be going good for a while longer. But yeah, apart from obviously you said, the swastika or anything of that sort, I don't think anything else is really off limits. The stupid thing that people will get, like, dick tattoos done or stupid things with their friends. I think that I know the line in myself where it's drawn.
Yeah. I mean, that's just right. Let me just clarify one thing. If you have a tattoo that offends someone, likelihood is you're probably a wanker. Let's be honest. Like, there's no fine line there. If you have a tattoo that's going to offend someone, and I don't mean like, oh, well, tattoos go against my religion, because, like, let's be honest, no one really cares.
Yeah.
Like, well, not that no one cares.
There's a difference between that.
There's a difference between legitimately being offended.
That's against my religion.
Yeah.
Or going out and causing that offence purposely.
Yeah. For example, a swastika or some form of racist slur or anything along those lines, you're definitely, not probably, you're definitely a wanker. You could be the nicest person to me, but I know you're not a nice person to others. So I think
Yeah.
on that bombshell, we should probably end before we get taken down for talking too much about stuff like that. Anyway,
For possible political and racial slurs that we're going to have.
I probably need to stick a PG rating on this video now, but we move. Anyway,
I did try and keep the swear words down to a minimal, so I think we've done all right.
you're literally on a YouTube channel called Talking Crap. I think we're past worrying about swear words.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, thanks for being on, because
No worries, man.
it's a lot better to have.
Thank you for getting in touch.
Yeah, I saw Blackened Heart in your profile. I thought, how can I not? One of my favorite clothing brands. I have to have someone that works there on here. So yeah, make sure to check out the next episode.
We appreciate the love, mate, and the support for us. Thank you.
I'm going to leave a link in the bio.
I'll definitely be on that, and I will make sure I send you I'll send you plenty of things over before Tuesday as well. If you need sort of like images to go, what about this one? Does this one offend you? How about this?
Oh, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, before we run over time, because I'm very good at doing that, yeah, thanks to my guest, Toby, for being on. Feel free to check out Blackened Heart store in the description. The link will be in the description, is what I'm trying to say. And we will see you in the next one, where I will be walking around the town centre speaking to the general public about what they think of tattoos. And you know what? Why don't I tell you the name for that show already? It's literally very simple: Tattooed Attitude Flash. For those of you who don't know what flash means, a flash tattoo is literally you walk in a shop, you open a book, you see a tattoo you like, you get it done there and then. Simple as that. So yeah, be sure to check out the next episode where we will be going around the town, speaking to the general public. Once again, thanks to Toby for being on the podcast. This has been a super long outro. We'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, guys.